We are currently at the Denver Art Museum, located in Denver, Colorado, looking at a touching painting of the Madonna and Child. This work is known as the Madonna and Child with Columbines and is believed to be created by a follower of Leonardo da Vinci in 1490. This work depicts the Virgin looking down at the Christ child while partially holding him as he rests atop a pillow and reaches toward a vase with blue columbines. The Christ child and the pillow lay on a ledge that runs horizontally to the picture plane. In the background, there's a landscape that appears through a window. Together, we will be looking at key elements within the piece, such as the landscape background, the blue columbines, and the nudity of Christ. These significant aspects of the painting reveal what was commonly valued in Italian Renaissance art. The landscape seen through the window depicts a tranquil body of water with a gray structure. There are also romantic rolling hills and lush greenery. Another work that depicts a landscape and the subject of a Madonna and Child portrait is the Madonna and Child in a Landscape by Giovanni Bellini. This work is similar to the Madonna and Child with Columbines because of the inclusion of an idealized landscape in the background of the work. This work by Bellini also depicts lush greenery and rolling hills. Bellini often included romanticized landscapes in the background of his works to give rise to emotion and human feeling. During the Renaissance, the ultimate function of religious paintings was to bring the viewer to devotion. Through the depiction of idealized natural beauty, Bellini was able to lead the viewer to spiritual enlightenment. Seeing the creation of God in such a glorified manner moves the viewer to contemplate the majesty of God. Another work that seeks to evoke human emotion through landscape is Leonardo da Vinci's Madonna Afflitta, which also depicts idealized rolling hills and a tranquil blue sky in the background of the image. Da Vinci was often inspired by nature and sought to recreate nature's beauty in an idealized manner. This influenced how his followers chose to view and represent nature in their own work. While the viewer meditated on the beauty and heavenly nature of the Madonna and Child, they could also meditate on the glory found in God's creation, as in both Bellini and Leonardo's work. Prior to the Renaissance, the art of painting was viewed as a form of manual labor that had no real need for intellectual ability, while poetry was understood to involve a great use of the mind. These artists used depictions of landscapes to convey the idea of a painting as a form of silent poetry. This would aid in the artistic community's plea for recognition of painting as a work of the mind. The follower of Leonardo also depicts an opaque vase holding some drooping blue columbines. These columbines are brought to the viewer's attention through the gesturing and touching of the Christ child towards the flowers, which suggests that the flowers are an essential aspect of the work and its meaning. In Renaissance art, the drooping blue columbines were meant to signify the sorrow of both Mary Magdalene and Mary, the mother of Christ, at the cross. This mirrors the sorrowful and contemplative facial expressions of the Virgin Mary. The use of floral imagery as a means of symbolism during the Renaissance is also shown in Leonardo da Vinci's Madonna of the Carnation. In this work, the Virgin Mary is holding a red carnation while the Christ child gestures towards the flower. The carnation often symbolized Christ's passion, with the crimson red of the petals alluding to Christ's blood and the thorns as the nails on the cross. This further shows the influence of Da Vinci on his followers, as his use of vegetation as a symbolism was replicated by them. It's also important to note the depiction of the Christ child in this work in the nude. Christ's flesh is doughy-like, which gives the effect of a three-dimensional volume in a two-dimensional picture. Da Vinci also depicts the Christ child in a similar manner in his Madonna of the Carnation. His use of light and shadows to convey a sense of plasticity to the flesh of the Christ child demonstrates his technique of chiaroscuro. Chiaroscuro is the use of strong contrast between light and dark. Illustrations of Christ often, especially during the Renaissance, depict him in the nude. The significance of portraying Christ in the nude serves both mystic and natural functions. while the idealized portrayal of Christ renders a spiritual reverence from the viewer. Showcasing him in the nude also emphasizes God's commitment to the human condition. In most of Christ's illustrations in the nude, his genitalia are shown freely, as in this piece. The unfettered illustration of Christ's genitalia provides the viewer with evidence of his sexual members and represents a pledge of God as fully man. Very few renderings of the nude Christ choose to depict him covering his genitalia because this would suggest that he feels shame. The redemption that Christ brings through his death and sacrifice is said to redeem human nature. If Christ were to showcase shame, then it would diminish the work of the redemption found through Christ. Christ's nude display symbolizes the freedom found in his gospel message and the vindication of human nature. The follower of Leonardo da Vinci that created the Madonna and Child with Columbines demonstrates his education on the historical evolution of art in Italy. He's able to take the techniques and approaches developed by earlier artists and impart his take. This piece shows the extent to which historical and cultural context impacts the art being created at any given time. Despite the artist of this work being unknown, it still reveals a great deal about Renaissance art and the importance of religious work during this period. What they have left behind in this image gives us a better understanding of the value of idealization and religious devotion in Italian Renaissance artwork.